All right. For recording purposes, this class is going to be a beginner's class. Hopefully, we can knock it all out in one part. What I want to go over in this beginner's class is what is an uptrend. We're going to identify what is an uptrend, what is a downtrend, what is consolidation, and also what is support and resistance. And possibly I'm gonna just do a part two to this because what I also want to do with this class is put everything together that we've been learning together from the top of February, everything I've been bringing to you guys, like putting together the morning star, evening stars, tweets of bottoms, tweets of tops, like all those classes within this class. So we'll see what we'll be able to cover today. Let me go to Spy. Did I? All right. And real quick, I always love to give people the opportunity where do you guys have a specific chart you guys would like me to display this class on, or is Spy okay? But if y'all have a specific one, y'all can unmute yourself or y'all can just drop it in the chat.
Sure, I don't mind doing the one you're looking at right now.
All right, cool.
Or even futures if you want.
We'll probably travel over there. Just to talk about some things live and things of that nature. CVX, yeah, we could do that. It doesn't move as fast as Spy, but it moves. Yeah, we could do CVS as well. We'll just travel along the charts. All right, so how I'm going to begin this is I want to get you guys engaged in the class. So the first thing that I'm going to ask is we're going to start with identifying what is an uptrend. So, and I'm also going to do it with multiple time frame analysis. Um, does everybody know what an uptrend is, first of all, and how to identify what an uptrend is? Drop a Y in the chat if you do, drop a no in the chat if you don't. Because it's a beginner's chart class. That the reason I'm asking that and just to get you guys engaged is because I know a lot of people will probably be like yes and stuff like that, but let's make sure we know how to identify that also with multiple time frame analysis so that we can get through it pretty good. All right, I see a whole bunch of Y's. Yes, we got one no. Y. All right, cool. All right. Why? So I'm gonna pick the last person that said something. Tiffany. Got you. Tiffany, what do we see on the chart right now?
I see higher highs.
All right, awesome. So you just took it out of my mouth. I was gonna say, let's identify with what trend do we see right now?
Yes.
What is the trend that we see right now?
Uptrend. Well, okay. If you take it if you take it from May to August, it's an uptrend turning into a downtrend. So I take that back. I see lower lows.
I love it. I love you identifying with the chart because yes, we clearly see it running up and see an uptrend, but we clearly see that there's a downtrend right? And that's why I opened up the chart this way to see if you're going to identify what's going on right now, right? So yes, clearly we are on a downtrend right now, right? And we've been downtrending for quite some time, right? I would say since mid-July or the top of July, right? That's when we topped out. So, all right, we got that. And you letting me know that, Tiffany, tells me that you can identify the trends going on a smaller time frame. All right, let me go back in the chat. There was only one person that said no, and that was Lost Recordings. lost recordings. When you say no, that you can identify what an uptrend is. What can you identify? Or I wouldn't say what can you identify. How new are you to trading? So I can understand how new you are, because I see that most people are far along. So I don't want to stay too beginner, but I want to make sure that you're able to understand what's going on. And you can just drop it in the chat. Like, hey, I'm a beginner trader, maybe 3 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 6 months. You know, do you know how to enter trades? Or you could just drop a Y if it's yes to everything that I just said. I am fairly new in a few months. I understand some terms. So you understand terms, got you. All right, cool. So this class is for you. Let me delete everything that I have on my chart. All right, cool. So yes, how do we identify what is an uptrend and or let's just stick with not the downtrend, but what is an uptrend, right? How are we going to identify with that is by seeing, obviously we know that we're in a downtrend right here, but it's by seeing higher highs, right? You can make the chart, you can zoom in and you can just look at, right, the uptrend is coming from some time, right? Now, what I like to do is break the chart down apart, right? Yes, this is a long uptrend, but how I like to identify it is coming right here. Yes, we have a long uptrend, but what we truly have, right, is, let me use these trend lines, is we have a minimum uptrend from here. Let me take that off. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. From here to here. And I know most people would have thought I was going to go up there and drop it right down here. No, from this green bar to this red one, that is a minimum uptrend. Why? Because we're on a daily chart, right? And most people, you have to understand, even if I was not on SPY and you're swinging something, and let's just say you're being greedy and you're in super deep profits or whatnot, buying it from a low from 348 and is at a high of 375, right? And let's just say you've been trimming along the way, but now you have some runners. Just because you're in an uptrend, you're gonna want to hold these trades. That was okay to hold through that one day. It is not okay in my book. It can be okay for a lot of other people, but in my book, multiple, like if I was trying to run up, right, and I didn't take profits here, let's just say I trimmed, but I kept most of my position here and it's dropping, I would have held right here, right? If it dropped again, I am not going to hold. Once it breaks a structure, and especially the structure of this candle, I am not going to continue to hold if I continue to see that there's more downside, right? Even here, we would have been able to see that there was more downside, right? And we had a gap below. So that's one thing I tend to do, and it helped my trading even as a beginner. Why? Because as a beginner, we tend to make money, see the potential of the market, right? But we also focus on what's going on our left side, on our right side, right? And we see other people making bigger profits where we start to not understand all the metrics to the game. And this person may be playing with capital, right? And you're saying, well, this person's making 1,000 and this person's making this. And dang, I want to be able to make that. Now you start holding something extremely too long. And especially you have to look at the type of security that it is, how much does it move, right? Because now when I start talking about when I hover over my candlestick and we look at the dollar move that this gave, that was $9. Okay, cool. One day it pulled back, but let's just say you caught the bottom, right? And it kept running up. Data is not hurting you depending on the contract that you bought, right? So even this day would have been okay because you would have started recovering just a little bit more, right? And it would have kept running up. But depending on the security and depending what expiration you chose, you don't want to get in the habit of thinking, oh, let me hold this because I'm trying to milk it, or I'm trying to like, capitalize off of it. When we're trading, we're trying to be in and out, right? Unless you're knowing for a fact, hey, I'm swinging, I bought time on these contracts, right? And when I'm talking about swinging, everybody knows I normally go 2 to 3 weeks out, right? That's even for day trading. That's even for scalping. Everybody sees I do not do zero DTEs when I scalp on spot, right? And it's due to theta, right? I'm playing with my money, but I'm also trying to make money out of thin air just by reading these charts, right? So I have the mindset of, if I don't have anything for a month or more out, I'm not planning on holding that for weeks. I may plan to, if it's less than a month, I may plan to hold, like say if it's a 2-week contract, I may plan to hold it possibly a full week. But when it's already a weekly contract, I have a runner on there, and it may be 1 to 3 runners. And I'm not going to sit here and be, oh, I got 5 or 10. No, I rate into most of my profits, and I'm just letting it play out. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you let one contract play out, think about when you let one contract play out one time and it gave you 150%, 200 and something percent, right? I'm doing that, but not with the risk that I'm willing to take and put $5,000 behind the trade, $7,000 behind the trade, $2,000 behind the trade. I'm not doing that, right? It's exactly what that premium is going to cost. I'm probably going to have like $500 on that trade or something of that nature, right? Because I can utilize the money that I've made and also the capital that I utilize to make that money to find more opportunities, or let that money sit. You know what I'm saying? And being a day trader is not about how many trades I can get. It's really about, what is my strategy? I'm going to follow my strategy. If I'm going to take 2 to 3 trades a day, that's all I'm looking for, right? It's 2 to 3 trades a day. And that's why you size accordingly to that, right? Because when you get your profits, you're done. You may hit really good on your first trade, right? Where it's like, you know what, I normally say 2 to 3, but hey, I'm good with today. You know what I'm saying? If anything, my 2 to 3 trades now that I'll take, I'll find some swings. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be able to live for the next day. So let's get back into the uptrend. And that's one thing I wanted to just mention, because I'm going to break all this down on smaller time frames, right? So how do we identify with what's an uptrend, right? It's by overstanding candlesticks. And let me turn off my strat so I don't start talking about it, right? Is when you start breaking higher highs, right? To some people, and this used to be for me, right? This would have been one high right here, right? When we finally broke these highs, that would have been one high. This would have been the next high to me, right? And then I would have been like, okay, this one broke that one. But now the way I trade, this was a high to these highs, right? This was another high. This was consolidation, right? But that's also, I'm reading this chart this way because this is a daily chart. So each one of these candlesticks is from 9:30 to 4 o'clock, right? And that's why you see me talking on the chart a certain way. And now I'm learning to explain myself better, where it's like, depending on what I'm saying, look at the time frame. Now, if I say, hey, don't worry about the time frame, just understand what I'm telling you, you can go with what I'm saying, but you're going to see that I speak differently on different time frames, right? So let's go ahead and I'm going to put it right here, and I'm gonna teach you why, right? After I put this all the way up here. One, I ain't the best trend drawer. Why? Because I like things to be perfect, and I would have started it from this candle, and I wouldn't want it to be touching that, right? So I'm gonna just hit it from this wick, right? And I really like bodies, and so I'm gonna just do what I like, because that's how I like to put it. But the wick would allow this trend line to move, look, to be a little further out, right? But what I've learned when I trade is just like what you hear, hey, have a tight stop loss, have this tight. I like bodies, right? Yes, I would love wicks to be touching it, but I want bodies to be touching it, right? And that's what I'm going to look for. And now I'm going to put it like this. And I always let that happen. It doesn't matter that I get some stuff that comes out once I get that high that I'm looking for. Why? Real quick. Oh, dang, how far am I? Pretty far. I'll find it though. So I just need maybe about an hourly chart. And it's because it plays as support and resistance. So what I'm doing now is going to go find the trend line that I drew, and there it is. I will not fix this. After I've drawn it on a bigger time frame and come down, I will not fix it unless it needs to be fixed. And you can see the way I drew it, you can see when it tried to make support up there, right? And it just couldn't hold, right? Boom, 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 and it finally fell. Came back and did the same. I'm not going to worry about, oh, it gapped, da, da, da. Of course, all that's important, but it's just identifying what's an uptrend, right? And I'm gonna just stay right here now that I'm on an hourly chart, right? So when I start to look at this, even though I know that that's my trend, I automatically in my mind, this is what I love to do. This is an uptrend, right? This is a minimum downtrend, right? I say minimum because these are pullbacks for the bounce up. This one failed. It couldn't complete structure. What I mean by that, I put them on the bodies of the candlestick. When the green candles went up, it couldn't complete structure, meaning this is where it fell from, right? That's what I mean when I'm talking about structure, because market structure is just identifying with what support and resistance is, swing highs and swing lows. And we can see that this swung low and took out targets to the left, right? And once it wanted to swing high, I'll just draw a few so you can understand what I'm saying. And I'm taking the top of the candlesticks, the wicks. It took out targets. It started to swing high, taking out those old highs right there, right? Boom, 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 boom. And when it took out its last one, you can see where it starts to restructure. And that's why it starts to restructure. Why? I'm going to just draw another line right here on the bodies of these candlesticks. And you can see that this is the structure of it. This is where it falls down and tries to hold there, right? So once you can start to identify with true support and resistance, the chart becomes easier to identify with it and know, hey, this is what can happen, this is what can't happen, right? So let's delete that. So I'll just stay right here because this is a nice one. So this little uptrend right here, this is how you identify with all uptrends, right? It's just a higher high from any previous high that you had. Don't look too far, right? Because whenever you're hearing the word previous, it's always going to be your previous candle or your previous high, right? You can't go too far. This was your previous high to this candle, right? So that's a higher high. This was a higher high. Don't get confused with this candle because it turned red and is a inverted pin bar, right? Or inverted hammer. All you have to understand is that this high was a higher high from here. It just closed down here, right? Now from here, you have no higher highs, right? This is a form of consolidation, right? That's why you see a bull flag and it breaks out. Anything that consolidates always breaks out. Understand that we're looking at SPY. SPY moves, is more volatile. So if you're looking at anything like American Airlines or things of that nature, understand that the consolidation can be longer like this, right? But the reason I say that, just look right here at these white lines, at the white prices, 356.64 to 360.45. You saw how big that was. Let me pull up American Airlines. And this goes for Bank of America. Anything that is not as volatile, right? So I'm gonna have to get off of this time frame, and I'm gonna just, I think I'm on an hour on that one, so I'm gonna go to an hour so you could be able to identify and see what I mean. Where let me find some good price action. This is downtrending, but it's still a form of consolidation. But I want a nice one, like right here, right? All this is consolidation. Oh my God, how did that happen? There we go. And watch how much of the price I'm going to take of consolidation. I'm going to this body, because that's going to be a structure of what it's going to try to create. Sorry, I shouldn't say it like that. When it's going to try to create support right here and then try to bounce up, it just failed. But long story short, This is consolidation. Look at the white price, 1654 to 1680. Not that much of a move, right? So when you're trading one of these, you don't trade them like SPY. You load up on these, right? And these are good stocks to start utilizing to trade and size up on your position. The reason why is because they don't move as fast as the others, right? You could be at 10% on one of these, depending on the contract that you get, and all you up is like $4. You know what I'm saying? That's not SPY. You know what I'm saying? So the sense of the consolidation can be a longer period of time, right? So like when you're seeing people that's making bank off of American Airlines and say they just caught this move from 1654 to 1680, that's someone that's buying anywhere between 10 contracts to 50 to 100, right? And you can buy, and you can even start that with doing like 7 contracts, and you'll start seeing like, oh, okay, cool, made a quick 70, $80 or something, depending on the contract that you got, right? And this one was like a little better because it's like, let's just say you caught it right here, and as soon as it went up, like even when this one started going down, it's like, man, I was in profits, like it wasn't moving that much. Like, let's just say I was up 15%. Even when it started like getting bloody and stuff like that, I only went down to like about not even 10%, like 12%. You know what I'm saying? Because those don't fluctuate that much, right? And they have better Greeks, right? So that's what I meant by this is a form of consolidation. You see how I did the white line? Now look at this. This is a smaller range than what I just drew. And this one is still 365.32 to 367.92. You see what I mean? Is because you have to be able to identify that with these stocks and be like, oh, okay, this is why they're putting that much money up. It's not only because they have that much money or things of that nature. That's how you trade those stocks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So how you identify what an uptrend is by knowing higher highs, right? And higher lows and higher highs, right? And I'll show you another form of it, like right here. That's just easy to identify, right? Because this all of it is the form of that, right? I'm gonna just delete this, and I'm just going to utilize this line so you could be able to identify with the highs, right? We have one high. That's not even a high right here, right? So I'm not even gonna do it like that. My apologies, because this is not a high because it didn't break this. But this high is a high to this previous high. So we'll start that high right there, right? But I'll teach you what I want to, like what my mind just said when I do the support and resistance. But you got this high and you got that high. You got that high. That is how you identify uptrends. We have higher highs and we continue. Even when you always want to find an uptrend start to create at any bottom of a downtrend. Like this, even though it was running up, this is a downtrend, right? Because you're getting higher lows, right? Not from here, but this high to this low to that low. These are higher lows, right? This structure started consolidating and it broke out a little bit, right? But it never broke that previous high. So this is still a higher low to this candle. This is a higher low to this candle. And that's how you will start seeing people like describe it, right? But when you start looking at these candles and you start catching them this way, you start able to catch them, those morning stars, how I catch them, and you don't get scared of them because you know this is the reversal. This is not just a continuation pattern. Tweezer bottoms are reversals. Tweezer bottoms are reversals. Morning stars are reversals, right? Sometimes it triggers, sometimes it takes a little bit, but boom, it completed this whole structure of that candle. Meaning, let me delete that so people can know. So from that high to that low, the morning star triggered, right, and still completed the structure. Hit, it was full at one point, and it was an hour, so it didn't just drop all the way down quickly, right? It was full, and then it started traveling down. It still took those profits, and that's from 366.98 to 369.80, right? But the thing is, when you're trading and you're utilizing, let's say, the hourly time frame, and you're like, oh, I see this setup, cool, I'm gonna enter, I'm gonna let it play out, I'm gonna put my stop loss where it belongs, right here, right? And I'm gonna enter in, and I'm gonna go for this higher target. right? When you start going to the smaller time frames, this is why you want to color coordinate things. Understand that you can trim away till you get to that target, or you can hold your position till you hit that target. But remember that you're playing the hour candle. So don't let the smaller time frame scare you or trick you out your trade. You know what I'm saying? As long as it doesn't come down to that stop loss, do not get out your trade. And that took me some time to be able to master. Why? Because it's the discipline that you have to be able to get. And what is the discipline? Enduring that pain. What do I mean? It's going down. Fuck. Okay, cool. You don't be seeing me on live. Whereas like Moody's mind starts to want to look at other charts and like, hey, look, y'all want to get in again or anything. Once I'm like past like 15%. Because it's like, I know I'm not about to just drop all the way down. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm by myself, I'll start to look like, okay, cool. Where are we bouncing from? Should I add to this position? Right. But you have to be cautious when you're doing certain things live, because certain people, Ray, right, gonna jump into every single thing that you say, right? So you have to be mindful of, okay, I'm trading and I'm making money for me, but I'm also trading for them. And I have to keep their emotions like in mind. You know what I'm saying? Why do I say that? Because I can stay in a trade and I'm like, yeah, I trimmed. No, I'm still holding. I'm like in 50% of my position. Oh, no, I'm completely out, man. Appreciate it, Moody. And then you'd be wanting to get back in, right? So I have to be able to display that and show that to you. So, and you have to be able to see that and start to execute like that and know that, hey, not every trade like you've seen today, not every single day is going to be great, right? But you can't allow a sad day like that. Like say this week, I'm still green, but tomorrow, if energy don't pick up, I'm cutting those contracts now red for the week. Am I gonna go crazy trying to go green back for the week? No, I'm just gonna trade like normal. And it's just like, if I go back green, I go back green. If I don't, hey, I took a red week finally. Okay, cool. Y'all got that. Back at it tomorrow. Review those trades. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, anywho, identifying an uptrend is being able to identify on the chart at any given moment on any single time frame if you're getting higher highs, right? That's always going to be an uptrend. And if you're getting higher lows, you don't ever, if you're trying to play the trend and you're like day trading it, you don't get this almost scared you out the trade. Say you was going out, do. All right, cool, bet, boom. At the end of the day, once you set your stop loss, do not get out that trade. Okay, granted, this is SPY, but this could be American Airlines, this could be Bank of America. Don't mind the ticker, right? Yes, mind the time frame, don't mind the ticker. So the thing is, you have to be able to endure that and understand this took a whole hour. This was 2 hours. This was 3 hours. This was 4 hours. If you do not break those lows, right? Don't get out the trade. Now, one thing that you can do that automatically will stop you out the trade, of course, you can do a trailing stop. I don't like to do that. What I do is trail my own stop up, where if my stop was here, right, I'm going to wait for this candle to close, right? Halfway through this candle, right? Halfway. So it has to be like 30 minutes left on the candle, 25 minutes left on the candle. If I see that this candle still hasn't tracked and it gave me that wick and it's holding and like doing this and it still hasn't traveled to this 50% retracement, I will move this stop loss here. And I'll continue to do the same. When this one opens up, right, when there's small candles like this, I let myself breathe, where it's like, hey, I'm not going to move my stop loss up here, but if this thing breaks and starts to enter this range, meaning I'm going to use the bodies of this red candle. If this candle would have broke this wick and traveled into this range, white to white, you see that range? I would have been like, let me see. That would have made not panic me out my trade, but now I'm on watch. Like, nah. You know why? Because I'm gonna set alerts. That's my biggest gem I can tell you to stay in, how I stay in trades, right? And that's why, like, sometimes when you see me take a screenshot, you'll see how many alerts I have. Why? Because I don't want to stay looking at the charts. And as long as I get an alert on my phone, like, boop, just hit this price, all right, I'm good. I know if I hit a different price, a lower price than what I wanted to see, I know to go check the chart and just see, oh, okay, cool. All right, we just bouncing. All right. Oh, no, we broke that level. Oh, no, let me go ahead and take my profits, right? So that's one thing that I do. So identifying that uptrend is knowing that you're getting higher highs, right? What helps me stay in the trade is seeing those higher lows, right? Because if I don't break this low, there's no reason to get out. I don't break this low, there's no reason to get out. And the thing is, I promise you, it's just like freaking life. It's just, you gotta start. It's hard to start. And if you size correctly and you start to trend, boom, 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 I want to take some profits. Oh, I'm holding less than 50%, 20% of my position. It gets even easier. It gets even easier. What's hard is trying to be too greedy and sizing a certain way, even if you're sizing with 10 contracts, right? And holding it. That's a $5 move, baby. You're making money now. You know what I'm saying? Because you're holding all those contracts, right? So the thing is, that feels good. It sounds good. You have to, if you're going to do that, you have to be able to, like, not drown, but go underwater. Because sometimes you're going to enter and it's not going to be like that. Let me find something. Say like this right here. And let's just say you entered at the trigger, it triggered and it started going down, right? Because that would have been your stop loss. But I'm going to show you how I trade, where my stop loss would have been on this candlestick, because you would have been playing this range, regardless of the fact, because all these candles are inside of that range. Yes, they're inside of this bigger range, but that range got smaller. That's when it's called tightening, because that's what inside bars do. They tighten the range. So once you find inside bars, you get that range, because that's the breakout you're trying to find. And it gets easier and easier. Look, you see how it starts to, okay, staying in the range, cool, boom, breakout. You know what I'm saying? But it takes time to be able to see all that stuff, right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, just because I was able to quit my job in less than 60 days, I didn't see all of that like that. You know what I'm saying? It took time to be able to develop that and be like, oh, that's what's happening, right? And that really happened for me like around July, and I started in January when the strat came into my life, and the strat came around like April. I was able to like start mastering it like around July. So long story short, that's how you identify. That's what I wanted to tell you. So you got to be able, on this candlestick, let's say you're sizing a certain way. Now, when it's traveling down, you may be down $300, or depending, you may be down 1,000, and you gotta be like, all right, I can hold that. Why? Because you can hold being in profits with 1,000, right? Because that's what you're doing. There's just a scenario. You're choosing to hold all those contracts, right? So you got to be able to, all right, if it dips down on me, I'm not just going to get out the trade. Why? Because then you'll get into the habit of thinking like, all right, cool, I'm gonna get right back in. But guess what? You're not gonna be able to get right back in, because now you just lost 1,000, right? That's gonna physically hurt you until you're able to just strike back at them, right? So now what happens is, in the mind, is like, oh dang, you start getting scared to jump in. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say you don't get scared to jump in and you jump back in, right? And let's just say it goes your way. It may not happen like that every single time. Maybe it just travel down a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you got like the BWs that giving y'all classes on liquidity to understand, like, hey, yes, I talk about retracement, but until you take out this liquidity, don't you touch that trade like that. And you see they left one liquidity right there. Until you take out some of that liquidity, don't touch the trade, right? Unless you know how to trade the price action, right? And what I mean by that is like this tweezer's top, right? Going from being on an hour, being able to circle this, and knowing how to trade that, meaning that's a tweezer top reversal, that's bearish from an hour. Of course, you'll want to go down to like the 1 minute time frame, things of that nature, but at least coming down to like a 7. I have 7-minute charts, but you don't have to go to 7-minute chart. Whenever these green lines stop, that's where we're at. It's going to take a minute since we're on the 7-minute chart. I don't know how far we went. And this has to click in your head. You see how long it's taking me to go over there? You got to let that click in your head, where it's like, Damn, that makes sense. That is an hour chart. He went to a 7-minute chart. If he would have went to a 30-minute chart, that one candlestick turns into 2. 15-minute candlestick, it turns into 4. Once you start being mathematical like that, it's gonna be so easy to trade. Because you'll see your bigger moves or the move that can potentially happen, potentially on a bigger time frame, but it's happening on a small one, you're gonna be able to catch it. Because you're gonna know, like, nah, this is the reversal. It happens everywhere on every single time frame. All right, I ain't gonna be able to go further out because it's telling me this. All right, cool. Well, it's all right because see, my candlestick stopped right there. But I was gonna go to a smaller time frame to like basically, and look, this is what I'll do. Go back to the hour. What I was gonna explain, I can just do it around here so we could be able to find it. If you're gonna do everything I said, you gotta be able to trade the price action like so. Let's see if I can find the sweet top right here. It circled all 3 kind of, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for that green and that red one because that's the tweezer top, right? Because this one pushed up from a tweezer bottom. And it's not because it pushed up from a tweezer bottom. It's just because this is a green candle, it pushed up. This one opened and it's basically flush and pushed right back down, right? So what you'll want to do, like going to a 7-minute, I was going to go to a 7-minute so it can break all that down. Being able to know how to trade that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's the move. That's how, I wouldn't say that's how everybody's trading, but that's what is fixed in my mind. Like people that are profitable and people that know time frame continuity, I know for a fact that that's what strat traders are doing, but that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like delete, watch. If I want this time frame, cool, say less. Let me delete this. I'm gonna catch this tweezer bottom. If I'm gonna trade that tweezer bottom, what we're basically doing is that's a 7-minute chart. Cool, ain't no problem. Let's take it to 1 minute. That was the whole move right here. We call that a tweezer bottom. You see the tweezer? Right? If that makes sense to everybody, drop a Y in the chat. If it doesn't, drop a no in the chat. And as I move forward, I'll try to touch a little bit on it, right? And before I move forward, does everybody I know I didn't touch too much on the downtrend, but I'm gonna touch on it really quickly. Does everybody know how to identify or understand what the uptrend is? All right, lost recordings. I was making sure that you was gonna be able to understand that I was being long-winded. That's what's up. All right,
Question.
go ahead, bro.
So it seems like you identify the tweezer bottom on a higher time frame, but when you come back to the lower time frames, it seems like you missed the move if you catch it on a higher time frame.
Not at all. All right, so look, let me show you what I was on a 7-minute.
Yeah.
It's because you're seeing everything in hindsight.
Okay, that's true because everything's played out already.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna show you. Let's say this candle's a tweezer bottom, it started to push out, right? And let's just say you've seen me do this plenty of times live, Ray. So let me hit the replay button. This candlestick, the chart's gonna look like this. You know, you'll see a candlestick come out. I'm like, oh, tweezer bottoms. All right, let's push. You seen me do the thing on the mentorship, right?
Yes,
so
that's true.
Right. So look, check it out. Once I'm gonna press play, I'm gonna make it go slow. Let's say once that candle come out, and I start to see that it's holding the support and over that closing price, we gotta wait for this green one. There it goes, right? It did all that, but it ended up closing green. Once we would have held that, watch this. Boom. Remember, I'm on a 7-minute chart. Lord, don't let it mess up, please. And let's make sure, because what time is this? 24, so it's gonna be one. Oh no, I'm on a 7-minute chart. 24. You're not missing that move. What you saw right here is the 7-minute close.
There we go. Yeah.
You feel me? That was when the 7-minute opened up. Tweezer bottom, boom. Even if you would have missed it and you would have caught any one of these, you would have still been in profit. And it came down to where did it come down to? Market structure. of this candlestick, the body. It just used these bodies and it came down a little bit. Look, even if I use these bodies, it looks better to you. See, it's like, oh, bull flag, breakout, came right there, head and shoulders, rejection. Now watch when I let it play out. I'm gonna put it on 3 because we just dropped it to a smaller time frame and you see that, hey, I am correct. You didn't miss the move, right? So now let's press play. But that's a great, I love that you did that, right? Because now you're able to see it live. Another tweeze the bottom. Wow, let's go. You did not miss the move, my brother. Come back down. We hate when this happens, that little retracement. But watch. And this is when it's good to do this and do the reflex, and then you start to understand, oh, they came back for liquidity. They came back, took all those liquidities, right? We got a higher high from here, right? It's still uptrending because this was that high, that high, that high, that high. Comes back to another low. Never broke that low, Ray. No reason to get out the trade. Don't get faked out. This is how it plays out on a smaller time frame. This is when I say, when you're utilizing that bigger time frame, and you know your setup and you know what you're doing, do not allow these people to get you out. Because they are going to, the smaller time frame is going to aggregate up. The bigger one, the hour is not. It's going to play that one candlestick. And you got to understand. 9 times, I don't want to say that. Never mind. I don't want to say that. But you see, it's impossible that you would have missed that move.
Good.
Even if you would have entered right here, that was 446. Where's price at? You weigh, depending on what contracts you got, you weigh over 100%.
Goes fast.
And that was just utilizing the hour chart. And this is a wrap. Like from here, look, I'll pause it so you can understand, since this is like kind of live. Look, I'm not going to get out the trade. I'm going to show you all the support and resistance. When it broke, you can see it. This was this, you see the tweezers bottoms, support. Next breakout, you see this breakout right here? That's going to be a support. You see it right there? Next, come in here. And this is just using support and resistance. This is the next support or the next resistance. The next one is right here, but this is the minimum one, right? All the minimum ones hit every single time. That's not perfect, but bow, bow. All right, you don't believe me? Watch this. Watch how it plays my levels. Now, if I want to be dope, I could take this level too, because it's gonna hit. Oh, I already hit it. This level right here is gonna hit. Watch. And that is knowing. The reason it's bouncing the way it's doing it right there is that's where it broke out at. Bow. Perfect. 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 Watch when it breaks this. It has to come back to sweep out all those liquidities. Bye. Morning star. Let's go. This is called an uptrend. You have nothing but higher highs. Higher highs. You see them? Highs not breaking no lows. This was your stop loss. These lows right here never got broken. Never got broken. If these lows never got broken, understand that it's the bottom of these wicks. Even when it came back and retraced, never took them out. About to go hit those targets. There was no, this is the only time when it would have kind of like scared you, but it still wasn't breaking no lows. It's time to get out this trade. It's gonna, it could bounce from this 50%, but as soon as you saw that, it's time to get out, right? Because you hit the top. You almost hit the top. Don't worry about, oh well, it doesn't matter. That's almost a tweet. That's almost a double top. Yeah, it's coming back, but it doesn't matter. Cool. You could have granted, you could have got back in. You don't want to keep holding that. That was a nice move, right? And look, I'm just not knowing what's gonna happen. Yeah, you might get a bounce off that tweezer bottom, but it rejected it. Not tweezer bottom, I'm sorry, double bottom. And that's not a double bottom. I'm sorry, I should have never told you that. That's too many bottoms for it to be a double bottom. A double bottom is clearly what it is, a double bottom. That's a double bottom. And it took me a while to be able to understand all that. Because these looks like, oh wait, that's a double bottom. It's not. And then you'll see some stuff like that. It's when, well, I'll probably have a class on it, right? And it just broke that structure. This is trending down. This is downtrending automatically. You see this? Look, it's downtrending. Remember what Moody said? Anything under the RSI is downtrending. Watch it play. I'm gonna let it play out. Downtrending. Until you break back over there is no uptrend for you. And this is the 1 minute chart. I promise you that. No uptrend until it breaks that. That's already created it is a minimum uptrend. Until you break over that structure, still no uptrend. Don't take the trade. These lines are perfect. I promise you. Hold over, take the trade. You can take the trade. Don't worry about it. You can take this trade. Yeah. Let's let it. It's trying. Now, if it breaks these lows, we get out. We lost that, but I'm taking this trade. Well, I've been in the trade if I wasn't. You see, it's because I know my RSI. Let's go, baby. Get out the trade. Got too greedy. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But we got too greedy right here, right? We've been in. That's how I learned to scout. Once I started like learning that and I did it so much, I don't hold trade, but we know that this is SPY. Don't hold your trade too long on SPY, right? That was a good run up, but you wasn't breaking no lows. This was trying to run up. Yeah, you seen how it started the uptrend, but still, we got too greedy. Double top, drop. That's a true double top. That's a one top, two top. That's not a double bottom. Those are not double bottoms. That's a one bottom, two bottom, triple bottom, quadruple bottom. You're on a 1 minute chart. You have to read it what time frame it is. You have to be. And this is still downtrending. Still downtrending. This is where it kind of broke. This is where it rejected at. You start your downtrend again from here. Let me show you. Because I need to touch on the downtrends anyway. Don't use the ray because that's going to confuse them. Trend. This to here was my downtrend. This is, you knew it started to reverse here. We didn't catch that bottom. I was like, yo, let's enter here. That was it right here. Double bottom right there. All right, cool. I'm going to start my downtrend again from here because I'm on a 1 minute chart, right? And I'm always going to get the bodies. It's always going to be like that. And if it stays under that, we keep trading it, keep trading it, keep trading it down. This is going to end up breaking out. And it's just because it's like what Jordan be doing, his little triangles. I'm going to take it from the liquidity. This is support from his little triangle. The more that it keeps getting into that range, it's going to break out. How beautiful. Breakout. And that's how it is. But this takes time. I'm learning to like speak your truth, Calvin. You are saying the truth. It's easy to you, but it still took me time. It took me a lot of it took me a lot of time. I just don't feel like it's a lot of time to me, right? And even when you draw these trend lines, you stay in the trade, even when it breaks out. This is what you, even if it comes down here, you just want to see it bounce off of that because it'll always start to do that, right? Hopefully that was helpful. Was that helpful, Ray?
Yes, it was. Now, would you have taken that trade again once it broke across that trend line again?
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I was fixed on the charts and I'm like trading, yeah, and I would have charted it, yeah.
Because it crossed over the 50 also.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, I would have not did it this way.
Okay.
Since I'm having a class and I'm talking about trend lines and I'm talking about the downtrend, I'm explaining it this way because it's easier for me in my mind how it's interpreting it. But truly, nah, I would have traded it this way. You see, I'm doing what I normally do on live. I would have did that and I would have took these ranges like that. That was that range that it was playing. That was that order block. Boom, let it play out. If it doesn't hold over the 50, don't hold it too long. As soon as I said it, don't hold it too long. Anytime it drops like that, you can always buy the white line. Always, always. When you do your fib, always, every single time. Watch, even if it drops again, bro, it's a wrap. But it just had to do that, right? It couldn't just do that for me the first time and just hold, so I could just be so super right. But you can buy anytime you draw your range like that, you can always buy back down here. That's how I always get my money back. Always. But I have to remind myself every single time I do it to get my money back, I have to remind myself it works every time. It works every time. Why? Because you take a hit. Like when you take a loss, I know you feel it's like, oh, it makes you feel like you don't know what you're doing. But it's like, nah, man, it's just a little loss, right? And it's out of the range. Bye-bye. And that's the same thing with that triangle, because that's a falling wedge. On this time frame, falling wedge. Falling wedge. It's a bull flag. It's just, that's a falling wedge to me. Some people look at it like, yo, it's bull flagging, because that's how they see the chart, and that's okay, and that's right. It's right for them. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it's going to be a falling wedge, right? It's going to be a TTO, triangle day out. Triangle day out, then we out of here. It's just a bounce off of support right here, the body. And it didn't even go all the way there, see? Stood there, came back, bounce again, see that? Bounce again. Once you know the market structure, you know where to always buy. You just have to remember, like, it's going to play out. Like, when stuff like this happen, chill out, it's going to play out. I have to remind myself that all the time. And now, hey, if we break, just like I've done plenty of times now, we break the structure, hey, get out, it's okay, do it. Just try it again. It's gonna give you another range, right? So the downtrend, because we have one here, just so we can move over to consolidation. Let me pause this. The downtrend is seeing higher lows, right? I always kind of mess this one up. Higher lows and lower lows. There we go. I said it perfectly. So once we start seeing this high is lower than this one is not, but it doesn't matter. It's still continuing its downtrend. You just got to be able to like identify with that. This is a 3-minute chart, right? But this is still a minimum downtrend. You can see a pullback. You see it's just a pullback to run back up, right? But when you start to identify them with minimum downtrends and not just, oh, there's a full, in my mind, whenever I say downtrend, I know it's a downtrend. If I say pullback, I know it's just going to be a few candles, right? And that's why I identify with the terms that I utilize, how I utilize them. Now, if I say minimum downtrend, man, it's just going to be pulling back down to a support, right? I don't know how far that support is going to be, but it's going to come down to a support. It's just a minimum downtrend. We're uptrending, and I'm able to always see those kind of things on my RSI. Why? Because just like I know the market structure, right? I'm also going to see that on my RSI where it's like, oh, it's coming down to the 50. I don't care. This is still an uptrend to me in my eyes. When I'm trading and I see this from the bottom and we're holding, it is still an uptrend to me on my eyes until it breaks that 50 mark and holds like right here. And it didn't, I'm going to hold it. It doesn't matter. The price is not going to go lower. It's going to go higher, regardless of the fact. And if it just bounces, it's a wrap. This would have scared me the hell out the trade right here, because I'm just a real person, right? I would have bounced like, all right, cool. I would have got scared out. Okay, cool. Yeah. We're going to hold. I'm being greedy and shit. All right, boom. As soon as I would have seen that rejection right there and we came back down, I probably would have held that rejection. Me being in profits, that's the only thing that would have held me in the trade. I see something like that, I'm out the trade. It's downtrending. It's downtrending. If this thing just bottoms out one time, it is a wrap. It's going to fall. Even if it bounces, it's now downtrending. It's the same thing when it's, look, right here. As soon as it breaks the 50 mark, let me break it down so you can see it. It's going to be like right, so these candles. As soon as it breaks the 50 mark, boom, uptrend. It's a wrap. It doesn't matter how many times it goes up and down. Look, your candlesticks go higher and higher. It doesn't matter. And that's something I was able to master with the RSI, right? Let me go into the chat. What was your question? My bad. I do have questions. Thank you for the breakdown. Thank you for breaking that down. I can see the candlestick breakdown now. That's what's up, Tiffany. Let's go. We're about to make more money. Malena, what is our current trend now? Uptrend or downtrend? Meaning on spot, like right now, like for trading, like for tomorrow, Malena? What about how SPY falling now? Can it bounce off of 442 previous resistance? Let's check it out. I didn't mean to do that. Let me answer Melena's questions first, and then right now we're in a downtrend, but we're going up. It's uptrend because we didn't got down to support. It's just like I forgot what class it was when I was like, hey, when you drop down and you can see like we keep popping up, we popping down, we popping up, right? We have to pop up. The only thing you gotta remember is we get greedy. This is a structure. Watch before I even start saying all that. This is a structure to take profits if you buy it anywhere down there. This is a structure to take profit. And this is also a structure. We may not even touch this high. It may break that high and leave us with like a wick and then come back down. But just know, like, these are fine to take profits, right? And don't get too greedy in the trade. And these levels also are fine if you didn't get down here and it starts to come up in these levels, right? You want to make sure. What I love to do is like, if I see that on the hourly chart and it's at that level, I'm going straight to a 1 minute chart because I'm going to check, are we overbought? As soon as I go to the 1 minute, like, and it look like I'm not touching it. I ain't getting it. The only way I'll get this is once I start to show you multiple time frame analysis. 2 minute definitely is. It still has a little time. That's a quick scalp. I'm not touching it. 5 minute. Oh, I'm touching it. It still has plenty of room. That means my 15 or my 30 is right under it. Told you. I'm touching it. I just know, you see the 1 minute? Look, oh, this is a fucking perfect setup. You see this shit right here? Sorry, excuse my language. I got passion. You see that right there? That's your 1 minute. Thank you, Father. That's dope. I'm gonna show you that. That's the 1 minute move. I'm gonna help you see. You see how much you have to that 50 mark? That's why your 1 minute is up there and almost oversold. That's and it's really the 2 minute move. I'm sorry, apologies. That's your 2 minute move. You see it? To get overbought. That's because your RSI is right there. If you can read that and that can click in your mind, it's a wrap. You're gonna be a millionaire. I promise you that. To answer Melena's question though, my bad, because I kind of got excited. But no, yeah, answer your question. It's downtrending right now, but it's an uptrend. And easy way to look. While we having that nice little bounce. Put it on 15. Man, I just rechart this. I just know these levels gonna hit, so I just didn't want to delete them. That's why we having that bounce, right? Because you gotta remember this is spot, regardless of the fact, but that's why it's bouncing, right? And the range to leave is this is already at the 50. But this is a 15-minute chart. We could digest her a little better. Yep, it's already at the 50. So to digest her, we could leave that there so you can have an eye view. Just to show you why it's uptrending. And now where's you at? Where is you at? Where is you at? Where is you at? You already did that move. This is the move right there. That's her. And this is stuff that I do fit within fit, so I can get out of the 50% retracement like this. How it's gonna bounce. I know that I have a 50 here. I need to get out of there, right? So I know that these are bounce levels for it. You know what I'm saying? You can see how it clearly just bounced off of that one straight to the 50, but this is uptrending. This is what SPY is doing right now. You know what I'm saying? If I was you, I'd take ES long and put an order in. I'll put a stop loss right here, right under the daily, and a quick take profits. Frank, if you on here, set it up, bro. Quick take profits right here. Literally. And I would tell you, and it's because price is right here already, and it's not like down here. Now, price, if you're not in and you see price come all the way back down, get in. This is gonna push up for you're gonna push up right now. Like, yeah, for a fact. And there's no volume in the market. I stay trading overnight. I love it. All right, so yeah, what I see for tomorrow is uptrending. What I see like right now, if I was to look at SPY, of course it's downtrending. You know what I'm saying? But for what I see for tomorrow is a nice little pop, because even it being overbought, right? Kind of overbought right now. This already happened, right? Because we can see ES, it already started rebalancing and doing this thing, right? My favorite setup in the morning for trading in the morning is I like to find my 1 minute overbought, meaning I could tell my energy's like, all right, yeah, we definitely doing a couple of parts of this class. This. What time is it? 10:16. All right, this is my favorite setup. Literally, I'm taking it straight every time. And this is a 1 minute. I mean, this is a 3 minute. So it's definitely down there on the 1 minute. So let me just show you the 1 minute so you can understand it. Right, this is my setup. And it doesn't have to be all the way down there. It could be like right here. This is just overstand. Don't even freaking look at the candlesticks. Don't matter about that right now. This is my setup. This is my setup. I missed the 3, but you already seen the 3. This is my setup. I'm taking this all the way down to a 15-minute time frame. And the hour of the 30-minute is the one that's going to show you the bounce. This is my freaking perfect setup. I'm taking this setup every time. Now you understand why I have all these time frames like this. I'm taking this. This doesn't always happen like this. Like you could be overbought on a 1 minute, doesn't mean that you're overbought on these time frames. You know what I'm saying? You could be overbought on a 15-minute, doesn't mean that you've overbought. I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong terminology. You could be oversold on the 15-minute and not be oversold on the 8-minute, right? This is a setup. This is a premium. That's why I'm going through all the time frames like this, so you can understand. This is the premium setup. You see this? And that's why I say it's gonna be like, nah, this is my setup still, because watch when I go to the 15. That's why I say it's like the 30. And it's probably like the hour that's like dropping. Nah, it's not even gonna be the hour, it's probably like a higher time frame, like basically I want to find the time frame that this is falling down and hitting my 50 mark. And it's probably gonna be the daily, right? Because I'm already on a 15. I'm gonna just push it to a 45. Perfect setup. Perfect setup. The hour, are you kidding me? That's a perfect setup. See, you see that little quick little bounce? That's a perfect setup. So now we go down to a higher time frame. You can see the hour, 4 hour. All right, so it's probably like the 6 hour, 12 hour. No, because that rejected it. It's gonna be like the daily. Let me just go to the daily because I feel like it's daily. See, how's that the 50? So definitely is the weekly. Oh, maybe. See, the 5 day weekly is too high. That's the perfect setup. You see how you get into your 50 mark? That's how I know, like, now we got to bounce. We got to do this. Because the higher time frames are going to show you that as well, but you got to know how to trade the small ones, right? And I'm going to just press play right here. And I'm going to let you see my setup, like, literally play out. This is the best setup in the world. Now you're going to have to move fast. Oh, it's moving. You see that? It's already, I call that, yo, Frank, let me see if you always remember. What do I call this right here, bro?
The snake.
It's the Kundalini energy snake. Yeah, it's your snake. As soon as I see a snake on my RSI, the Cobra doing that is a wrap. It is a wrap.
So you wait for that, right? You wait for it to pop back up once it's down there.
No, I would have been in, but
you would have been in already.
Being in this snake is a wrap. And if I'm not in it, if I see this snake, I'm getting in. The only thing I'll tell you my emotions. The only thing that's gonna scare me a little bit or make me nervous is this high. Like, damn, fucking, because it could just drop and then they come back. So look, I'll let it play out. So look, even when it bounced right here, watch this. Look, I'll start showing you the time frame. Bro, you too early. What you talking about, bro? You too early, bro. I caught them already. I caught them. You feel me, right? Yeah. They lost. I won. I win. You lose. If I show it to you on this time frame, you're just gonna see a lag or like go through. So that's why I'm on a 1 minute. And watch. I'm gonna show you my trim or you add. Watch. Don't get scared if you go deep sea diving. Don't be acting like you ain't never try to go into the stall and see, hey, who under there? Roy, don't laugh too hard at that one.
Yeah, because it has no place to go but up on this since you're at the
exactly. It don't matter. Look, this has to find the bounce. This bounce because look, it will support. Remember what I always explain and I teach. I can't teach anything under here. I don't know what the I ain't even gonna call it no man's land. I don't know what the hell is gonna happen down here, right? I haven't not traveled down to the RSI that low. I always go down to 25. But this is support, this is resistance. So when this motherfucker down here taking a deep sea dive and shit, trying to see what coils it can find and shit, right? In my mind, I'm like, this is resistance. So I know I can hit this and come back down. But regardless of the fact, I have to travel back up. And I know I can come back down, right? Because if this was resistance, brace resistance, this has to be support. Now let's watch it play out. I'd be wanting to charge thousands of dollars. And I'd be like, no, Moody, can't do that. You gotta help your people, bruh. You gotta help your people. You saw that, Ray?
Yeah.
What a bounce of support.
I started trading RSI and not so much even the setup not even the candles anymore, but more what the RSI looks like.
Hey, Frank, what did you say this weekend when we were trading and stuff?
That you can bet chart the RSI.
They literally trade the RSI.
Yeah, but that's what I've been doing basically.
If I don't teach you the candlesticks, I feel like I'm doing a disservice. I feel like, man, but I'm not teaching you how to read the RSI for real. That's a whole nother ball game. You know what I'm saying? Once you can read this, it's a wrap. It has to do.
Like once it gets oversold on once it gets oversold on the 1 minute, it ain't got nowhere else to go.
Got nowhere else to go. But the setup, the perfect setup is this. Oh, don't stop. Dang.
The perfect setup is when it's across time frames.
Yes. So look, I'm gonna pause it so you can see. Like if I start to showing you the setup here, I know I'm a bad teacher. Because you don't even know. You see how I first started to show it to you? You're like, nah, I see what Moody was saying. You don't even know. You're just like, man, it hit the bottom. You would have to rewind the class and listen to everything I said first. Why? Because you're going to find this setup down here somewhere. You see? It's like, oh, it looks like that. That's not the setup. That ain't the setup. You feel me? Now, watch me show you how you can still see the setup like this. Yo, oh, and I meant to say this, I got out of my meditation, and I truly appreciate everybody because I just leveled up with some self-healing. I truly appreciate everybody that always try to give me my flowers and I didn't know how to take them. I truly appreciate every single person that just uplifts me every other day or every day and be like, yo, Moody, I appreciate you so much. Because you don't know what nobody else is going through. And I know I just seem like a very strong individual, but people do go through shit. So watch this, Ray. This was the bounce right here. Remember I told you it was gonna bounce? You feel me? You see my setup? That's why I said I had to rewind it. You wouldn't be able to see the setup still. That's a true double bottom on the RSI. True double bottom, look. True double bottom. You want to see? Look. Well, I'll come back. Remind me to come back to the 5 minute. So 6 minutes. You see how it's already happening? If you see this, like that, even on a 6 minute or something, oh boy, take that trade. Oh boy. The only thing is when this thing is overbought like this on a 6 minute, like this setup, I'm going to wait for it to break this, or it has to look. Let me show you the setup. And I'm literally giving y'all the keys. Like you see how I'm on the chart doing this, you can literally go and find setups. Be like, hold up, Moody just showed me what to do. So I'm gonna put it right here. Let me see if this is the perfect setup. Now I go to the 1 minute. Remember, it's overbought under. Go to the 1. When this setup arrives like this, you don't take this trade until it there's a couple ways you can trade it. Until this breaks over the 50 mark, don't touch it because it's too overbought. This right here is happening on a 6 minute. And remember, it can reject this like it did right there and come back down. It can, this is what I'm teaching works on every single time frame. So you have to remember that because I trade price action. This is price action, right? So you don't take that until it breaks the 50 mark and it holds the 50 mark. I'll allow you to see that. Oh, dang, I forgot to show you the 5 minute thing, but I'll go back to it. So now look, I'll let it play out. So
You're saying if it's too oversold, you have to wait. You want to wait.
If it's like this on a 6 minute, like if you call, it doesn't have to be a 6 minute. You got a 5 minute. It could be a 5 minute. You feel me? It could be a 5 minute. It could be a 7 minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna utilize the time frame. I'm gonna say the time frames that I see, but I don't know the time frames that you see. You know what I mean? You might see the 5, and the 5 is still gonna be like that. I'm just saying 6. I just don't want you to be like, oh, I have to go to the 6 minute for this. Nah, it's the setup, right? So going even over to the 5 minute, you see this is what I mean by it can run. This is, I treat everything as support and resistance. So this is resistance until I break this. Once I break it, I know I got to come travel back down. Like you see, it's like right here. Let me explain it right here. Rejection, resistance, comes back down. I don't know where no support is at under this, right? The only way I would know is if I put my thing down on the 20 and then I start utilizing it like that. But I don't want to go that far because this is the perfect setup for me. And this doesn't happen super often. But my bounces at my 25 and then my 33.69, always, every time on key. So long story short, it can hit your resistance, right? That's what I'm gonna call it. Boom, come back down to wherever their support is at, breaks your resistance. That's why you see it come back down to that support. It's just like the charts. It does not have to come back to that level, but it's around that level, right? What do I mean by that level? 25 to 30. Or that's not even 30, that's 28. That's that level, right? Because this was your 30. That's what everybody normally has. So that was their overbought. That was their bounce. You know what I'm saying? It's according to your chart and how you trade it. But you can take my strategy and put a 30, 70 and still utilize it that way. It's still going to work. I don't use the 70-30 because that's how I traded my first year. My whole second year, I was like, nah, you're not gonna be faking me out like this. And I got tired of getting faked out. So when I lowered it, I stopped getting faked out. Is the wrong word. I'm more patient now, right? Because I lowered it from 30 to 25. So if it's not coming all the way down there, I'll be more patient for my trade, right? So what I'm basically saying is you see that it's overbought. So coming down to the 1 minute, you got to understand it's playing that support and resistance. You're going to need that 50 mark because it's overbought on those higher time frames. Let me let it play out, make it go a little faster so you can see. You're going to want the RSI to break over there. I got you though. I'll show it to you so you can be able to identify. All right, we getting there. What? Fuck, I should stop. Take it to 5. Look at the 5. You see? That's the test. See, I wanted to show it to you like that. That when I said, fuck, that was the candlestick going down. That's the rejection right here, right? Mm-hmm. On the 5 minute, you don't want to take the trade until it's holding over the 25, right? But for the 1 minute, you see what I mean? It's like the 50 mark. That's what's going to give you that solidification of that uptrend, right? So just let it go real quick. Pushes up, that's it. Boom, that's your 5 minute break right there. You feel me?
Yep.
And it's just like, once you do that, I started leaving the 1 minute. The 1 minute just helped me get in. Bye, I don't need you anymore. Why? Because you will fake me out my trade. I'm holding you now.
Yep. I
You
started trading the 5-minute RSI.
know? The 5 minute and the 15 minutes, the best time frames to me.
Mhm.
They're the best time frames to me because those are the time frames that, for me, you open and you go in red, you close in green, especially if I'm in the uptrend. Like, look, you over here got me. Like, I'm gonna do the rest of the class like consolidation and everything possibly for part 2 for next week because I'm over here just going crazy. All right, so this should be able to do it. Put it on like 3. No, not plugged. All right. You should see all these candles go red and then close green. It's a psychological thing I found out. You see red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. Ooh, that one consolidated. You know what I'm saying? That I would have started getting scared out. Let's see if we and we break it now. Let me hold. Now I'm gonna start getting out. You see, that would have faked me out right there. But you see the psychological part about it? Red, green, red, green. It's always gonna open. It's not. Oh, it's the setup. I don't want to say always. It's just the setup.
Bam.
It's the setup. And the setup is finding actionable signal or finding the downtrend, right? The actionable signal would have gave it to you on a smaller time frame. Like this is actionable still to me because it's a reversal. The tweezers bottoms right there, right? But any other smaller time frame would end up giving you some sort of actionable signal here. See, yes, it's the morning star, but it's that pin bar. Take out liquidity. Let's go.
Trading on that 5-minute takes away all the other 1-minute noise.
You said what?
So trading on that 5-minute takes out the noise of the 1 minute.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. But I think like you're not able to understand like how I'm utilizing the 1 minute and things of that nature. It like helps me stay in the trade. It helps me get into the trade and things of that nature. But I'm still trading a bigger time frame from it, regardless if it's a 5-minute. You just don't see me do that like in the morning. On the rise, like when I put out the live and stuff, you just don't see me like. To be honest, I'm not gonna do it on a computer. I'm gonna do it on my phone. Like as soon as I rise up, I give thanks, I give grace, and I'm trying to get back to like my meditation, but I'll grab my phone and I'm looking at the charts like, oh, okay, this was happening. All right, I'm looking at my time frame. Like, I bet I'm gonna kill you as soon as the market opens. And the only thing that catches me sometimes is not being patient. Like how I bought the high today. You know, but I think that is very important to be able to explain yourself, right? Because if I would have just said, dang, man, that was not a good entry point, you would not understand that. You knew it's not a good entry point, but you would not understand that, dang, he's on a 1 minute and he's saying that he bought the high, even though it's on the low on a bigger time frame and it's about to pop up. I still bought the high on this time frame. I should have never did that. You buy the support every single time on any time frame, on any candlestick. If you're going for calls, that's what you're supposed to do. That's just a rule in my mind. I'm always going to buy the support. Now, if I don't, it's just because I'm feeling myself. You know what I'm saying?
I think
it could have been that day that I rose up. Like before I get on live, I'm gonna get in the mirror and I'm gonna talk to myself. I'm gonna get myself right. I'm human just like you. What the heck? I'll rise up and think of something negative real quick, and I gotta, what the heck wrong with you? God dang. Hold on, get yourself right, bro. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. But if y'all have any questions, y'all more than welcome to ask. What's your RSI levels? 25, lower bottom, 75. Here you go. I just did it for my brother today. I turned everything off, Bollinger Bands, all that stuff. I also turned, I made it black. I never turned them off. It's like, if you leave this green, you start to see like you're overbought and oversold. I just don't like that stuff like that. I keep it all blacked out. Or you could just turn them off, right? Because it's just a feel. And then I keep my levels right here at 75, the upper band and the lower band at 25. And then I change this to white because it'll normally be yellow. And it's like you can still see it, but white just stands out more to my eyes. And it's just I don't like yellow, to be honest, because yellow is going to make me think of cautiousness because of like how I look at the strat. So if I see yellow, I'm thinking inside bar. And that's something that I would I'm not gonna say advise, but I would suggest to people where it's like you gotta trick yourself. You know you're tricking yourself, but you just gotta trick yourself. Like that's why I'm always saying over what am I saying? Overbought. Sorry, I'll be saying oversold up here, and it's truly overbought. It's not oversold. But that's because I make myself feel like, oh no, oversold, like sell. Like that's how I make myself feel. But that's like for the 1 minute chart. But no, I'm lying to you. This is gonna be from the 1 minute to like the 15-minute chart. But the 15 can travel, and the 5, but the 15 they can travel the 75 and use that as support and bounce it. The higher time frames can definitely do it. But yeah, anybody got any questions? I'll save the consolidation and the support and resistance because I go super in depth into the support and resistance using the bigger time frame, breaking them down to the smaller ones. So yeah, I'll save that. And I'll save putting everything together, like with the uptrend and downtrend and things of that nature. Basically, what I do is just this is all I do. Because you're already able to identify what the uptrend and the downtrend is. I just show you exactly what it is. And then I show you how you can trade it, but I show you where it's like, this is how I also identify. And I'll just do it real quick, how I also identify uptrends. Whereas like, as soon as I draw my trend, and this can be, let's just say I got in like right here, or like this white line, right? I'm just using that because it's like a support. And look, I'll just bring it up a little higher so I can get the breakout. Let's just say I entered in on this candle, right? Because I was aggressive or something and started coming down, and then we started breaking out, right? Automatically, as soon as I start seeing that I'm on that uptrend, I'm reading candlesticks. Okay, morning star, bull flag, breakout, continuation off my reversal, right? That I'm automatically doing that. As soon as I do that, my mind already knows, but I'm gonna go backtrack and let you know where that's a cup and handle, right? Once I know that that's a cup and handle, I'm inside of an inverse head and shoulders, right? Shoulder. I already start knowing that because these patterns coincide with each other, right? Okay, we broke out. I know anything that comes back to this level, I just don't want to break it. That's all that matters, right? That's why you see it, the breakout like that, right? I just don't want to come like, say if I was in this trade, oh, dang, I'm being greedy. Soon as it would have break this level, I'm done. Doesn't matter. Okay, we coming back to this level, I would have got in like even right here. Oh, dang, oh, snap. I'm not going to just get out because I just entered in. I'm in that level, so I'm going to take these levels. Oh, I'm sorry, I should draw it. I'm going to use my fib. I'm going to use this level, right? And as long as I don't leave that level, I'm going to stay in that trade, right? So like basically what I'll be doing is just putting everything that I taught together, right? From tweezer bottom, tweezer tops, and showing you how once you're able to see this, you won't get scared that much anymore, right? Because how I call the inverted head and shoulders off of the cup and handle, all it did was create a bigger inverted head and shoulders and kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing, right? And even with this trade right here, even with this trade, right? Let's just say you've been in, or let's say you haven't been in and you're trying to get in. You could catch the bounce right here, right? And automatically, what I tell people is just wait for that break and understand that it can do and come back down. Just wait for that one. And 9 times out of 10, you just, even if it closes above and it does that, just wait for the next candlestick because it'll go red and start wanting to bounce. Like it'll give you hammers, like stuff like that, because it's trying to push up. You just got to understand that. You just got to be patient. You really have to be patient with yourself. Like I was really patient with myself. Like I just don't talk about all that stuff, but I was really patient. And the thing is that my wife took the biggest risk. Like, yeah, I was good. Yeah, I had bread, but I'm still trading. Yeah, I could have lost everything. Then yeah, I just have the mindset where it's like, what's the worst thing that can happen? That's what I used to tell myself. What's the worst thing that can happen? Me go back to a job? I done
Hmm.
had like 30 some of those. Huh?
Patience is such an easy word to say, but it's a hell of a. It's not easy to do all the time.
Heck no, it's not because patience is how can I say it? Patience brings about discipline. Discipline doesn't bring about patience. Patience brings about discipline because the more patient you are to things, the more disciplined you become to it, right? So it's just like discipline. Patience is just like discipline. You know what I'm saying? It's something that can be explained, but cannot be taught. If it's taught, it has to be taught within time. Like if you was patient enough that you been with me, let's say from like Unbroken Mindset when I first started, or like with Kwame and traveling all the way over here, you will literally see like, damn, this dude never changed his trading style. It's like this, it's like that. It doesn't matter what it is, he stood the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like my cousin, he was like, yo, I've been on this whole class. He took this class like 3 years ago. This class is completely different than what it was, right, bro? You know what I'm saying? The way I'm explaining everything and breaking things down. But it's just time. You know what I'm saying? And the easiest way to kind of like, I guess, explain patience and discipline is consistency. Because consistency seems easy. It can be easy to anyone. Because what are you consistent at? Are you consistent at watching Netflix? Or are you consistent at like, what are you consistent at? You know what I'm saying? You can look at your life. You just got to be able to swallow the truth. Whereas like maybe what you're consistent at is not a good habit. I'm consistently smoking. That's not good. I'm aware of that though. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you got to know that stuff. And once you know like consistency brings about professionalism. You'll be professional at anything that you do if you're consistent at it.
Hey, got a question for you, Bob.
What's going on?
Ain't nothing much, man. Hey, when you was talking about the RSI, I got a question. Like, I normally chart previous day high and low, and I chart between after hours and pre-market, whatever level is the highest and the lowest, and I normally take the break out of the bounce. But I want to know, could I use the RSI with that? Like, saying if it goes to previous day high and the RSI is overbought, like that kind of thing. Can it be like an extra confluence on that?
Yes, I do it all the time. I don't know if this how I interpret it in my head because I utilize that strategy where it's like you utilize pre-market lows and pre-market highs, whichever one it breaks, you take that direction.
Correct.
Yeah, you can utilize the RSI. So what you're gonna see with that, let me see if I can just find the setup for you.
And then I normally be like previous day high and low. So say if it break pre-market low or after hours low, whatever one is the lowest, and it breaks that level, and I look at the previous day low, and I kind of be like, that's my risk to reward, like for the trade.
I'm saying the RSI still work with it, but I don't like daily highs and daily lows. I like the previous daily highs and daily lows. I play those completely different.
Okay.
And it just depends on remind me of that, and I'll take it to the daily charts to be able to show you that. And let me just go to these pre-market levels real quick. All right, so we got a low down here. That was at 924. That's 930. I gotta open it a little more. Which one is this one? That's 930. So we're gonna take this low right here. That was our lowest low. Yes. Yes. And then our pre-market highs. What's this? 7 p.m. Like at 5. So basically like right here. That's our pre-market high. So that's the strategy that you're talking about. So if we was to take this bad boy here, you'll see this play out exactly like it. And I'll just put it right here so you can see these candles play out. And note that my setup is going to happen as soon as the market opens up. And it's going to be at 9:30. So you're going to let these candles play out. Here goes the market opening up right here. There goes the setup. You see it?
Yes, I see it. Yep.
Boom. Next minute, reversal starts. Bow. Red to green. Red to green.
I know that's been helping me because it gives me the confirmation to say, hey, well, if it can't break the low and it's bounced off the low, well, it got to go test the high and vice versa. And that's been giving me confidence to get the trade. But I normally don't stay in the trade. I kind of get faked out.
Oh yeah, it went possibly because it does stuff like this.
Yeah, like today, I had puts. My puts was like 250% today, but I got out and I had the 430, 443, 444 puts, and it went down 442. So that had been probably 400% but I'm still happy with the gains because I seen the price action.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely. Absolutely. You just gotta stay patient, right? Because this is a 3-minute chart, so obviously it was like 3, 6, 9. It could have been like 15 to like almost 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Before it like finally broke out. You just have to be patient. Like, I'm not sure if you join our live trading, but like that's when you'll see me like, oh, I'm gonna just hold. I'm just being patient. I'm gonna just wait for this break, and then sometimes I may just buy another strike, like I did today. But you just have to be patient. You truly do, like, because what I would say, I wouldn't want you to do what I'm going to do. Like, I'm gonna go to the second chart and I'm gonna read the RSI. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see that bounce. I'm gonna see that break. Right, this is 9:30 right here. Right, look, boom, we're holding over. I already know these seconds they're gonna play the whole entire range of it. Right, but that all I'm gonna be doing is like, look, 30 seconds doing that. I'm gonna go to the 1 second. Right, we're overbought on 1 second. I'm looking to see if we dropping already because I'm waiting for the bounce on the 1 second because it's gonna bounce from here and it's gonna go right back up. And as long as I can get something like this on the 1 second for a little bit, boom, boom, it's gonna be a wrap. You see how your candlesticks are just shooting up until
I'm about to set my time frames like you got high after 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes. It's showing. I'm about to set that up tonight. I like that. That's gangster.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the time, man.
Yeah, no problem. My mentor, he ain't here no more. He used to give me flowers about that. Like when I talked to him like offline, he used to be like, "You're gonna be somebody. And you're so smart for that." And I was like, "Man, I appreciate it." But yeah.
I used to do the monthly wicks and trade those at break of the bounce, but I stopped doing that. It used to work.
Yeah.
I should chart all the monthly wicks, the highs and lows.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They gonna those are always hit because those are targets, and especially on the monthly, those are targets. You just gotta wait for the true reversal. And
Yep.
all wicks are targets, right? But like the monthly ones, they gonna get hit, bro. And we gonna get a nice pullback here, right? We got to. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked a question. Hold on, my bad. You asked about the 443 levels. I remember that. I forgot. My bad. What about how? Oh, that was you that asked that. What about how SPY falling now? Can it bounce off of 442
Yeah.
previous?
I saw the bounce back in the day. I mean, not back in the day. I can't remember. I think it was in early July. I think July 7th. And when we broke out, and I seen like that little small pullback consolidation. Then it ran a little more like a little doji candle, and I think that's like the demand zone.
Right here.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, I see it.
So
Yeah,
I'm
this
thinking
is
we
the
go.
demand zone. This is where we broke out at. So this is where they will buy back the price. The only thing that can happen is them take out some of this liquidity.
Yeah, I seen it at 37.
Yeah, they got good liquidity all the way down to the next breakout because those are the two breakouts right there. So if we don't hold this level to go back up, these are the next levels for it to play. So we will end up seeing 443. The only way we won't see so I said 443, 431. The only way we won't see those levels if we can hold the break from here. And I see everything as my RSI, like 25, 50, 75. So I'm gonna see my RSI just like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's dang, the 6 hours, man. I like these time frames because it clears it up where you ain't gotta, and it looks tighter. And I was looking like the bigger time frame is like a whole bunch of noise. That's tight.
Yeah, I like 2 hours. Like, well, you can look at it right here. These are all the time frames I like. This is how I like my time frames. 1 all the way. I'm supposed to get a 9, but I keep forgetting to get the 9 all the way down to the 10. Then I don't need the 11, 12. I might do 11 for 11. And just like that, and then I do this with my hours. I get them. I started like, no, I need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you got some of these. You got like the 5, the 4. But I created some of this, the 12-hour. I always got to shout out my cousin for that. He put me on the 12-hour. That time frame is just phenomenal.
So let me ask you this, and that's my last question. Like when you say liquidity, like that's the fake out zone, right?
I wouldn't call it like the fake out zone, but if that's how you see it, then yeah, call it the fake out zone. Like what I mean is it's just like an uptrend, right? Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. When you get multiple of those, that is a PNG to the downside. Like these candlesticks, like let me go find it. Like right here, you see how you get those higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. When you get that, like a candlestick, one candlestick or multiple of them will come take out all that liquidity before bumping up. You see how I did it again right there? It came out all that. And this was
everybody who was in calls, they all got smacked. And
yeah.
Okay.
I was one of them guys.
Okay. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you as well, brother. But yeah. But and also remember how it's creating it down, we're creating one on for the way back up. So that's gonna be an amazing move. So what I mean by that is like right here. I started to pull back right here, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. One candlestick gonna take it out. This one complete the structure, consolidated for a little bit, take it all out. But literally one candlestick took it all out. It's just this time, it's time frames are subjective, right? If I go to the hour, you're gonna see one candlestick took that shit all out.
Man, that's cleans it up for me. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trading 3 years and trying to be consistent and be profitable long term. And I just have a hard time to bag holding. And I just know, like, I try to use the previous day highs and just take profit and keep on going. So I'm working on it day by day. Like you say, you talk to yourself in the morning. I'm gonna do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, facts, bro. Are you in our Discord?
No, I think I need to try it. I need to try it out.
Try the free trial. Try the free trial. And what I tell you, I can't be, it's like 21 people in here. Try the free trial, bro. Use a different freaking account. Try another free trial.
All right.
I'm good, bro. Like, I just want to help people.
I'm gonna show. What's the where I get the link at?
Here, I'll drop it in Discord. I'll drop it in the chat. Give me a second. This thing going extra slow on me.
Yeah, I've been in your lives for a while. I remember how you used to talk about like plug and all them different contracts like that back in the times.
Dang, it's been a minute I've been talking about that. Where you know me from?
From here, I was in one of your lives, one of your classes.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
I just never joined your Discord, but I remember how you used to talk about the different small companies, like people that's sleeping on. You know, them companies get $1, $2 move, man. That's good profit.
Yeah, big facts. Big facts, bro. Oh, thank you for saying that. My brother told me that he was like, "Yo, Billions got the new season out, or the second part of the season. I gotta go watch it."
I'm about to join this now. Appreciate it, baby.
Yeah, ain't no problem, bro. Absolutely.
I knew you knew what that meant.
Huh?
Said I knew you knew what that meant when I put
Yeah,
billions.
man. Yeah, feel me. But yeah, bro. Man, yeah, I appreciate y'all staying on here this long. I won't be live trading tomorrow. I'll be with my son. I'll be back on Thursday. But yeah, utilize bar charts. Hopefully people selling energy. Energy got beat up. They down like what, 2%? Yeah, they got jumped. 244. They got smacked today. Yeah, that was me. I got smacked with Exxon, CBX, and XLE. They all the same play to me, literally. That's why they all went the same direction. But hopefully they bounce pretty nicely because my crazy ass averaged in.
I swung some calls at the end of the day.
Yeah, I did too, man. Hopefully we make this a green week.
And then they got the Fed minutes tomorrow, which minutes ain't really been moving as much, but I mean it's still some type of data. There ain't no telling what they might say.
What time?
I don't know what time. I know it's tomorrow. Let me look on investing.
I got you.
I think news we had this week is this the minutes. Oh, they got jobless claims, I think Thursday.
I don't be caring about that shit. Motherfuckers don't want no job, bro. People ain't trying to go to work no more, bro.
You're right.
I'm dead serious. I don't even mean that as a joke. Like, they be like, man, I don't want to hear that. People trying to figure it out. People ain't trying to go to work.
1300. So 1 o'clock. Fed minutes come out.
I'm about to look at the name. All right, let's see what's popping on tomorrow. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, it's 10:30. Yeah, 5 minutes. Oh, 2 p.m. Oh, I'm straight, bro. Cool. I'm tripping. They coming at 2 o'clock, bro. I always do that. Don't listen to me, bro. Listen to what your heart say.
I'm them calls already. Hoping them calls pop up pre-market. Them swings in pre-market been nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't listen to me, bro. I just me and the let me stop this recording before I continue talking. Hold on. I love the feds. I love them, bro. I don't know what I was talking about. How do I stop this recording? Bro, where's the stop button? Oh.